And we are recording. With that said, hello everyone. Thank you so much for attending the Public Health Training Certificate info session today. My name is Brian Mathis. I am the Program Coordinator Senior for the Masters of Public Health program here at U of L, as well as the certificate in training, public health training that has just recently been added to the SPHIS curriculum or programs. And I also oversee the clinical investigation sciences program here at U of L. And my colleague, Dr. Brian Gwynn, you want to say a little bit about yourself?
Hi, I'm Brian Gwynn. I'm a professor of epidemiology here at the University of Louisville, and I am the program director for the Masters of Public Health program, as well as the program director for the graduate certificate in public health training. Brian Mathis and I kind of co-run the show in terms of the MPH program, as well as the certificate program. So whatever I don't carry, Brian carries. Whatever he doesn't carry, I carry. We go back and forth. Brian Mathis helped create the certificate program in conjunction with me and people upstairs. So he is an expert in everything public health, at least in terms of these two programs. So if you do in fact enroll in these programs, Brian Mathis is the point person you want to know and respond to an email to. He will put you in the right direction. Big picture stuff, you're having trouble with somebody at U of L, you come see me, I straighten it out. Everything else, Brian Mathis, but I'm there too to help as well. So I'm so glad we have such a big turnout today. And it's a very interesting time to be interested in public health. We have a lot going on in the public health milieu. So hopefully you'll find this interesting. And Brian, I'm not going to say too much. I'm going to turn it back over to you, and then we can talk again after.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you so much. I'm going to drop my email and office phone number in the chat as well. I work 9 to 5, pretty much Monday through Friday. So if you don't hear from me within 24 hours of the workday, that's very uncommon. I'm pretty good at getting back pretty fast. Please feel free to reach out to me, no matter how big or small the question is. And if I do not know the answer, I know who to talk to. So again, happy to answer any questions, just like Dr. Gwen said. And with that, I'm going to screen share because we have a small presentation in regards to the certificate. So hopefully this works and nothing breaks. Brian, you see everything all nice and peachy? Fantastic. Let's get this big mode. Okay, so just a small presentation, nothing too fancy. And Dr. Gwynn and I kind of already did our introductions, but we make up the Public Health Masters of Public Health and Public Health Training Certificate team. And now, why should you get the certificate? Well, first off, it looks awesome on a resume, that's for sure. And it is a fantastic way to build those foundational knowledges, or that foundational knowledge of public health, and such as like the core foundations of like biostatistics, epidemiology, public health principles, health policy, health promotion, and behavioral sciences. And the Masters of Public Health is CEF accredited, as well as the School of Public Health, so the certificate falls under that. And for those of you that are not familiar with CEF, that is the Council on Education for Public Health, or CEF for short. They are the individuals that let us teach public health, and they are the ones that accredit us to let us give you all degrees in public health. I think 2 or 3 years ago, we just went through our renewal of our CEF accreditation, and we passed with flying colors. And so, yeah, we get to teach it again for a few more years until we have to do the next review. And the coolest part about the certificate, I think, and I'll talk more about it towards the end of this presentation, is that if you enjoyed the certificate so much that you eventually want to pursue a master's of public health, well, the certificate can be applied towards the MPH. So it's kind of like a stepping stone from going from the certificate to getting a full-blown master's of public health. So a lot of cool opportunities with what you can do with this certificate. Now, a little bit about the certificate. It is within the School of Public Health and Information Sciences here at U of L. It is fully online. It is 4 courses over that total 12 credits. Each of the courses are 3 credits, and it can be completed in 2 semesters or 1 academic year, like a fall, spring, or if you want to go part time and just take 1 course each semester, you could do it within 2 years. And it provides the opportunity for you to develop and demonstrate your knowledge in the core areas of public health, like I mentioned, just like with epidemiology, biostats, public health, etc. And so this is what the 4 courses look like. You have your intro to epidemiology, which Dr. Gwynn is the teacher for, so that's awesome. You got your intro to public health practice and administration, your intro to public health behavior, and your intro to biostats for health science. So if you notice, like each of these are kind of the core foundations that I've been mentioning a few times within the certificate. It's because we have the departments within the School of Public Health are these. So, like, we have the Department of Epidemiology, we have the Department of Biostats, we have the Department of Public Health, Public Health uh, Behavioral Sciences, and then Health Management and System Sciences. So each of those department kind of coincide and create and form this certificate so you get those core foundational public health knowledge that you can later apply towards your professional and academic career. So intro to epi and intro to public health practice and administration, those are offered only in the fall semesters online. And then phpb 501 intro to public health behavior, and then the intro to biostats, those are offered in the spring semesters. So again, you can complete this 2 courses each semester, knock it out within 1 year. Sorry, 1 second. Awesome. So our public health admissions or training certificate admissions requirements are minimum GPA of 2.75, and the best part is there is no GRE required. Very exciting. There is the formal application that you would do through the graduate school and the application fee, which is $40 for a graduate certificate. Your resume, minimum of 2 letters of recommendation relating to your academic and professional experience. And then, of course, official transcripts indicating conferral of a bachelor's degree from an accredited institution. Now, for international students, there's a few more things we need to review. We need post-secondary transcripts from institutions not in where English transcripts from institutions not in English require a foreign credential evaluation. So, like West World Evaluation Systems, I think, is a very popular one that we see when it comes to having the post-secondary transcripts from institutions outside of America. And then students whose primary language is not English must show English language proficiency. And I'm not going to read through all that verbatim, but you can see like TOEFL's on that, i.e., LTS, Duolingo. We accept those. We do need to see that English language proficiency and the demonstration with those test scores accordingly to ensure that everything is nice and good to go. So, I think I mentioned this earlier, but one of the coolest things about the public health training certificate is that if you wish to pursue a master's of public health, whether during your certificate or after, you have that opportunity. So as long as you get B's or betters in the courses, you have the opportunity to, at any time after enrolling or completing the certificate program, that all coursework completed within the preceding 3 years with a grade of B or better may be applied towards the coursework for the MPH. So I do want to stress that within the preceding 3 years, a grade of B or better. So say you completed your certificate in spring 24, by spring 27, you would need to decide whether or not you want to continue to pursue that MPH. And then those 4 core courses could be applied towards the Masters of Public Health successfully. With all that said, this is a very short presentation because we want to offer the opportunity for those that have questions to ask them. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And Dr. Gwen, if you have anything to add, feel free. But we are
Yeah,
also, yeah, go for it.
I'll add something if I can. For those of you that came in late, thanks so much for being here and welcome. If you missed the first part of that, you just feel free to ask or hang out at the end and we'll talk to you. In terms of the GPA, you know, if you have a 2.6 or a 2.55, still apply. We'll work with you. The graduate school has a hard line of 2.5. Like that's what the U of L graduate school requires to do any kind of graduate work. Brian, that is correct? Yeah. So we set a little bit higher standard, but if you're just under 2.75, still apply. You can still enroll and still do the program. Especially if you're an international student, we're well aware that international schools grade differently than schools, say, in the United States. And so having a 2.5 GPA in some parts of Europe and Africa is actually pretty good. So we recognize there's differences there. So still feel free to apply and we'll take that into account.
The only thing I would note is that if it is under 2.75, you're more than likely to be provisionally admitted, which means that as long as you do well in your first semester, that provisional admissions would go to full admissions.
Yeah, and usually people do fine with that. That's usually not really an issue to worry too much about. The last thing I'll say is, Brian, we changed it up on you. I know you sent me your PowerPoint, but the EPI course and the biostats course, no, the EPI course and the behavioral course are offered online in the spring, and the biostats and the health administration course are offered online in the fall.
Oh, sorry about that.
So
yeah, I think yeah.
No, it's totally fine. So just be aware of that change.
That is correct.
And so it doesn't matter. You can matriculate. You can start in the spring or the fall. It doesn't matter when you start. There's no prerequisites with any of those courses. So I guess, Brian, let's see if there's any questions we can answer, and we'll go from there, I guess. What questions do you all have? Let's see. Abigail says, I'm a current master's student. Oh, where'd it go? I'm a current master's student at U of L. How does tuition work if I also want to take on the certificate program? Brian, do you have an answer for that?
Yeah, let me check something because I think the website talks about the tuition cost. Just give me 1 second. So if you're already in a master's program, like the certificate, what master's program are you in? Oral biology. Okay, so like this would be courses outside of that. So from my understanding, it would just be you would be adding on to the tuition rate of your semester. The actual number, it's about $775 per credit hour. Happy to help.
What other questions?
Get research experience. Brian, I'll let you answer that one.
Yes, there's definitely opportunities for research experiences. We have a great relationship with the Division of Infectious Diseases. We have a great relationship with the Green Heart Study. We have a great relationship with the Louisville Metro Department of Public Health and Wellness. And then we have a bunch of faculty that are doing research independently within their own departments. So there are opportunities to get involved with research. I do lead research. I take students with me to West Louisville and collect samples off homes and in the ground. And then we send them off to a lab and evaluate that and make maps. So there are opportunities to get involved with research, especially if you want to build your CV, or if you're thinking about, applying to the MS program or the MPH program, we would go out of our way to help you get involved with research.
We had another question about what career opportunities are available with the certificate.
Yeah, so what we've seen in the past is usually it's people working in healthcare, medicine, or already in public health that are using this as a way to show their employers that, I have more advanced training. I'm better than, say, the next person who doesn't have this more advanced training. So we see this as an opportunity for people to build their resume or to build their curriculum vitae, their CV, to maybe do one more thing to get them into that fellowship program after med school, or to get them into this residency program after med school. Just a career based on this, if you're not already working in something that's, sort of related, I'm not sure what a certificate does for you unless, if you're in law school and you're going to be a lawyer and you're interested in, how research works. Yes, this is absolutely going to help you. You're absolutely going to learn about research. Like, you're going to almost be a miniature expert on research and basic biostatistics. But outside of that, just having this in a vacuum, you would have to get creative with how you would use that. You already have to have a bachelor's degree to do the certificate, so you'd have to think about how you can align those and show an employer that you're, better than the next person, I guess. Brian, would you have anything more to add to that?
Oh, I think you said it perfectly. I'll take I see Eleni. Question. I work for the U of L hospital. Will they pay for the courses? So, Eleni, I apologize if I'm not saying that right. I would recommend talking with your HR department, but there is something U of L employees get called tuition remission, which I will drop the policy in the chat. It's an opportunity to take courses while you're employed, but again, I would highly recommend you check with your HR department to ensure that the tuition remission is applicable towards your position. And I do see a hand raised. Melissa, hello. What questions do you have for us?
Hi, sorry, I dialed in a little late. I just wanted
Oh,
to
you're
ask,
fine.
is there a SOFA's application requirement for the certificate
No.
program as well?
For the certificate, there's no SOFIS requirement. You just have to do the graduate application, which is $40 for the fee, but you got to complete your graduate application where we need your resume, 2 letters of recommendations, minimum or recommended 2.75 GPA, transcripts, official copies. But for the Masters of Public Health, if you did not complete a degree at U of L, that is where you have to do SOFIS.
So if someone like me has a master's degree already and we didn't apply to the certificate program and then opts to continue into the MPH, then I'll have to do a SOFA's application?
Yeah, if your degree was not from U of L, that is correct.
Okay. And the second question I wanted to ask is there like a military tuition rate cap with the online certificate programs as well?
I'm seeing on the website that is $250 per credit hour active duty rate.
Okay.
But I would also check with financial aid / graduate school to ensure what I'm telling you is correct.
Okay.
But it is on the website, so I feel pretty good about that statement.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Other questions?
Hey, Brian, I will say about the tuition remission. In the past, it's paid for 2 courses a semester.
Yes.
So
good point.
I suspect you will get tuition remission if you work for U of L, which would cover the entire cost of the program over 2 semesters. Because it's
you pay. It saves like 90% of the cost. Yeah. And to clarify on the tuition remission, it covered, like Brian said, it's 2 courses totaling up to 8 credits. So this is where it gets a little confusing, where like if you take 3 credit courses, like each semester for the certificate that's 6 credits. So, but if you take another course that's 2 credits, you would be paying for that 3rd course because that's not covered by tuition remission. Whereas if you took 2 4-credit courses, that's 8 credits, that's where tuition remission would be covering. So it's 2 courses up to 8 credits per semester. So it's a little weird in the language, and so I like to explain that out. But good point. Also check with your HR department though. Other questions?
I have questions.
Sure.
Yeah, I've already sent my transcript from my home country, but I have some credit from GCTC. I have to send it, or I don't need it.
Send it.
Okay, from GCTC, right? Okay.
Yes, yes, send it from everywhere you've gone. Yeah, send those credits. That will only help you for sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and Brandy chimed in as well with the tuition admission, so thank you, Brandy. Yeah, check with your HR rep. Other questions?
Brian, I'll add something while people are thinking. I suspect some of the people on here are medical students or law students. I'm pretty sure some are. You know, why you might consider the certificate program, you know, you're going to read a lot of biomedical literature if you're in medicine or if you're certain types of law, and you're going to read about study designs and what they mean. If you don't know that, it's going to be foreign to you. You will absolutely learn all the study designs you'll need to know as an attorney or as a physician in the certificate program. The EPI course and the biostats course very specifically are designed to make you, I dare say, an expert at study design. I mean, maybe wouldn't say an expert, but really close to it. We dive deep into study design. What's a cohort study? What's a case control study? What's a cross-sectional study? What are all the maths associated with those? What's statistical significance? What is causation? What is the philosophy around causation or the science around causation? So you really get a global understanding for what a cause is, what an exposure is, what a hazard is, what study designs are, and how we can make sense of the biomedical literature. And I'll tell you, if you're relying on the mainstream media or the legacy media to tell you the truth with research, you're going to be in for a sore surprise, because they so often get it very, very, very wrong. And so if you take this course and you pay attention and you learn, you'll see why they're doing things wrong or how they're doing things wrong. It's because you'll be the one in the room that actually knows what study design is and what we mean by statistical significance and biostatistics and causation. So that alone is valuable work that would probably change how you go through life moving forward.
Fantastic. Willie Thea had a very good question, actually. What if you have never taken an online class before? What is the process? So we've talked about the graduate school application part, so I'm gonna skip to like when you're actually enrolled, because in person versus online is very different. You're going from synchronous to asynchronous style. So like when I say synchronous, you have your dynamic conversations, kind of like what we're doing now, where that's what you would find in the classroom. Whereas asynchronous, it's a stop and go kind of like you can go at your own pace. Obviously, there's going to be deadlines with what the syllabi would say, but you could like watch the lectures on your own time, whether after work, maybe on your work break, maybe even at work for some people. But it is more at your own pace with a lead direction by the professor. And like Brian, you might be able to talk a little bit more about it since you've hosted online courses before.
Yeah, so that's a great question. What you can expect is a self-made pace. So if you want to fly through the semester, hey, more power to you. If you want to go week by week, you can do that as well. I usually unlock 2 to 3 weeks at a time. So that all the lectures, all the homework, all the assignments, they're unlocked, and you can just go through them in order. But it's very simply laid out. You just do this, then that, then this, then that, then this, then that, and you walk through it. We try to make the lectures, 15 minutes. There's maybe 3 videos, and they're 10 to 20 minutes tops. And you can watch this 10-minute lecture, this 12-minute lecture, this 15-minute lecture, and then you're done. We try to break it up so that you're not listening to someone talk for 75 minutes about, something boring, let's say. So we try to make it like YouTube videos where you're 10 minutes and out. You just get the very most important stuff, take that, distill it, do a homework assignment, turn it in, get your grades, get your reports, and come back. Now, since I teach EPI in the spring, I allow students to continue working all through the summer. If they get behind, I just give you a little incomplete, and then I can help you finish the coursework over the summer. So I'm not crazy about deadlines for the spring semester for the online students. My goal is to help you learn the material and graduate with it and move on to bigger and better things. That's me. That's not everybody. So I try to be laid back with it. Other professors aren't as laid back with it, but that's okay. They have their own style. But online is typically built around your pace.
Fantastic. And then another question from Abigail: are there exams? Are they asynchronous too? Yes, there are exams. I think it's kind of at the discretion. Brian, you might be able to answer this because, like, from my experience with online courses, I've had asynchronous tests where, like, I log into Blackboard and complete the exam. I might have like an hour and a half to do it, and then I've had exams where they literally email it to me and be like, "Hey, complete this and send it to me by Monday." So it kind of like varies per professor.
Yeah, I think some courses there are no exams. It's going to be like projects and papers. My course, there are 2 exams. You get a full 7 days to do them. You can start the exam. 5 minutes later, your kids come home in a bad mood. You got to stop. And you can stop for 2 days and come back and pick it back up. I mean, you get literally a whole week to take the exam. That's the only time where I have real deadlines around the exams. I make them open note, open book. I don't use Respondus Lockdown browser because, in my opinion, all that does is punish people that don't have 2 computers or any kind of knowledge for beating the system. If you've been around for 5 minutes around technology, you can very easily beat that system if you know how to read Reddit posts, basically. So I don't punish people that don't know that. I just make it all open note, open book. People still get, they still struggle sometimes, but you do get the whole week, and you can email me with your questions. I would say biostats and epi definitely have tests. Behavioral sciences, I do not believe there's tests, and I'm not sure about Dave Johnson's course, health management. There's going to be a lot of little quizzes with him, probably some group projects, but I don't know about tests.
Thank you. Other questions? Well, we are getting close to 12:30. I know the info session is technically till 1, but I think this is our first one we've done, and I thought it would be about 30 minutes. So I do want to respect your all's time because it is also getting close to lunch, and I'm sure people are getting hungry. Um, but we will be hanging around for a few more minutes, and this video is being recorded and we'll end it shortly, but I think Delphi will work with us getting it out to the public and all that jazz. And again, I want to give a major shout out to Delphi for helping us get all this set up. You guys are awesome. Brandy especially, thank you, you rock. But any other question? Thank you so much. If there are any other questions, feel free to raise your hand, chime in, type them in the chat. But again, I really appreciate your all's time, and I look forward to seeing your applications come in because August will be here before you know it.
Yeah, and if August is too soon, we'll see you in spring. And don't be afraid if you're going back to graduate school and it's been a while since undergrad. Don't be afraid. I spent 13 years after undergrad before I went back to graduate school, and I was scared that I was going to be like the dumbest one in the classroom, and it's really not like that at all. It's graduate school is just a minor extension of undergrad. The expectations are a little bit different, but it's nothing that you can't handle as an adult or as an older person. So don't fear graduate school. It's a fun experience where you get to learn things from adults who treat you like adults, not like a 19-year-old kid.
Exactly. With that said, I think I'll go ahead and end the recording since I think we're at a good stopping point. But again, like I said, we'll be hanging out for a few minutes in case there are any questions. But for the formal cutoff, thank you all. We appreciate your time. And look forward to your public health training certificate application.
Karen, I hope.
And
Bye.